Welcome to the very first Design and Code with AI workshop. Every week I'll be going live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. UK time to share everything I know about design and code with AI. And ever wonder how a sleek HR dashboard can transform from a sketch into a fully functional web app in under an hour? Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes to show you exactly how I will design, sketch, and code an HR management dashboard live using Figma and AI, of course. But first, a quick disclaimer. Although I have a computer science degree, I'm not a developer in any way, but I love to code and I love to design. I love the design aspect of building and launching products. And if this is your first time seeing my content, here is a quick introduction about me. My name is John. I'm a senior product designer with over 13 years experience. I have worked in tech all my life and I still do. I love to design and build products for web and mobile platforms. And recently, with the power of AI, I've been kind of building things around over the time. I started building functional apps with AI code editors like Cursor, V0, Lovable, Bolt, and Windsurf. If you've never heard about any of these products, and that is the reason why you're actually here, because I will be taking you through every single of these products every week, every type of product that you've actually always wanted to use when it comes to AI code editing. These tools allow me to build my ideas, add value to my team, and ultimately future-proof my career. At the end of today's live workshop, you will be able to push your finished design to production on the Vercel platform. And while you're here, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next live workshop. Also, click the link in the description to join my newsletter, and that means you'll be the first to know whenever I'm going live or whenever I actually have really good information about the latest in AI coding to share with you. Now, let's get into it. So today we'll actually be building an HR management dashboard, and I want you to actually think about it this way. In the next 1 hour, we should be able to. It will take about an hour. Of course, we take this session will actually be up to an hour. However, it's going to be a series. However, this will be a series because ultimately we might not be able to finish everything. So you always want to check back on my YouTube channel, or if you're subscribed to my newsletter, I'll always update you when I have the other parts of it. You know, so many people think creating complex is about, something only seasoned developers can pull off. But what if I told you you can actually, that you could bring your ideas to life with a few powerful tools and a little boost with AI, no matter your skill level, even if you've not written a single line of code before. Now, let me show you how I'm going to think about this and how I'm actually going to, start brainstorming and, putting all my thoughts together. Now, the first thing we want to do now is basically, we'll definitely be sketching out, our idea. And this is where we'll be looking at the information architecture, and then design, and lastly, we'll be coding with AI because I'm not a developer. All right, let's start with for every great design, it begins with a sketch, right? Every great design begins with a sketch. And what that simply means is that it's possible for you to, simply go to Dribble and take a screenshot of any app. You can upload it to any of your AI code editors that I mentioned. And even with Claude or ChatGPT, can literally transform your sketch or your screenshots into code. But that is not the goal for this workshop, and that is not the reason why I'm actually, putting this workshop together. I want you to be able to do your design yourself in Figma, because that is how you can actually become 10x. And then once you're done with your design in Figma, I want you to be able to leverage the power of AI to transform your design into a functional product. And that's the whole essence of this workshop. And most of my videos and my content will be guiding you through every single thing that you need to do when it comes to turning your design into functional prototypes. Now, one of the things I probably will not be doing is, maybe over time I will eventually do it, is actually start connecting the design into backends, database, because that comes with a lot of different logic. Although there are also tools like Supabase that can help you connect the backend without even writing much code or much SQL. But the focus right now is to code with AI. Now, I want to ensure you become a better full stack product or UX designer and ultimately increase your value in the job market. Now, think of this as the skeleton of a dashboard, okay? The information architecture we're trying to build. We designing an HR management dashboard that consolidates, key features such as creating job listing. Let me just actually, use, let's see. Now, the information architecture will be looking at doing, something like creating job listing and then, viewing. Of course, an HR dashboard would definitely be doing all this. Creating job listing. What again do you think? Let's see. Viewing jobs / completed application. Let's say completed applications. Yep. Okay. Now, of course, managing candidates would definitely be something an HR dashboard would always be doing. Let me move this here. Let's see. We'll move this right here. Managing job application, managing candidates, and of course, job applications. Now, the goal for the information architecture. For every great designer I mentioned, you always want to start with understanding who you're designing for, right? You want to understand who you're designing for. You want to understand what the user flow will look like. You want to completely brainstorm on every part of the product. And I just don't want to, I always start my design with sketch. Either the sketch could either be writing this way or actually literally sketching on the whiteboard. Now, the goal is basically for us to be able to design a clear, scalable, and intuitive information architecture that caters to different, user roles. Like for every dashboard, you need the HR manager, you need you need recruiters, you need administrators. You definitely need. These are the users of this dashboard that would be. So part of what you will be doing, and this must align, of course, with the organizational goal. And then what we'll be doing now is actually to start mapping out, the employee overview, information, and all these other things that you will mapping that you will typically see in a dashboard. Now, quick tip: whenever you're sketching, I want you to focus on the flow. Okay, how will a user naturally move through this dashboard, right? You want to be able to imagine and think about the flow up front before going into Figma. Now, who are we designing for? Understanding who we are designing for is one of the most important attributes of a 10x product designer. Because at the end of the day, if you are not clear about who you're designing for, you probably would end up spending a lot of time just designing, right? You must understand your audience before you can solve any problem as a designer or even a product manager. Now, that would definitely lead me to us breaking down the user personas and roles of people that will be using this dashboard that we're going to design. Okay, so let's do this. Let me break this here. I'll call this user personas. Now, I think the first on the list would definitely be HR manager. Now, the overall responsibility of an HR manager would definitely be to have an overall HR oversight of what's happening within the dashboard, e.g., so that they can make strategic decisions. Let me just keep writing. Have an overall HR oversight, and then you'll be able to make strategic decisions. They will be able to also approve of job listings, right? Now, and also, of course, approval job offers. What else do you think? I would say overall HR oversight, good one. Strategic decisions, approvals for job postings and offers, and management of high level, management of high level reporting. Now, some of the permissions that they will definitely will be can view / edit most modules, like most of each of these features. They can approve job posting, manage candidates, and generate advanced reports. One other persona that I think is also very important that we think about or we talk about is actually the recruiter, because the recruiter is different from an HR manager, right? So let's look at what the recruiter responsibilities will look like. A recruiter on this platform should be able to create and manage job posting. And then, of course, a recruiter should be able to screen applications before it gets to the hiring manager. And then schedule interviews, communicate with candidates. Those are some of the features. Schedule interviews, communicate with candidates. They kind of have limited access to high-level HR reporting because they are recruiters and they want to really focus on that. So let's think about limited access to high-level HR reporting. And who else are we looking at? I think so. Yeah, personas. Now we should have department heads, or we can say department heads, or let's call this the hiring manager, because the hiring manager would be able to see. Now, for hiring managers, some of the responsibilities they would have is to be able to actually review candidates that already applied for the job that they posted, providing hiring inputs, of course, budget approval. Of course, it depends if relevant. Permissions definitely will be read-only or limited to editing for job posting in their department. Can see candidate list and interview details. May not have access to system-wide settings or reportings. And then one other persona that I think we should also consider is actually an administrator. Admin. As an administrator, you should be able to have system setup. You should be able to set up this entire system setup role, access control, performance management, performance management of the entire system itself. And the reason why I'm actually breaking this down is because if you're designing it, you know how dashboard can be very, very complex. What this would help you to do is basically to understand exactly what the information architecture and the user flow will look like. Now that we've actually broken down the user personas, we've done this correctly. I'm just going to, let me delete this. The next thing we want to do now is to then think about the core functionalities and tasks. As I mentioned earlier on, beyond now you're trying to understand who you're designing for, right? The next thing we want to do is to start building out, understanding the core functionalities and tasks that each of these users would be able to perform. So core functionalities and tasks. Now, the first one will be, of course, job posting management. Under job posting management, I should be able to create, edit, publish, because there's a difference between creating and publishing, right? And then I should be able to publish, unpublish, and archive job posting. Remember, each of these is going to influence the design structure, it's going to influence the layout structure, unpublish, and then archiving, job posting, duplicates or reuse job templates, job descriptions. Some of the other core functionalities that we'll be looking out for is actually applications and applicant tracking. Now, applications and applicants, what that means basically is I should be able to view, filter, and sort applications. Job posting, I should be job posting, tag or label candidates. I should be able to, eventually also within this, for this, I should be able to schedule the interviews, bulk or individual, probably bulk or individual communication with applicants. I should be able to do that. Comms with applicants. And then one other core functionality that we'll be looking at, again, is actually candidate management. For candidates management, that would be, let's call this centralized candidate profiles, resume, cover letter. This is going to cover candidate profiles, resume, cover letter, etc. What again? I should be able to track candidate status based on applied, shortlisted, interviewed. So the status will be, okay, the candidate has applied, interviewed. So these are all the core functionalities we'll be looking at. Offer has been extended. Under this will be accepted, rejected. Now, offer management is something I think I would put offers instead of there. I'll call this offers management because this is where you really need to be able to also do there are a lot of functionality that has to come in here. You should be able to draft an offer letter here that will actually go to the hiring manager for approval. Draft offer letters. What again? Probably manage digital signatures, and then one of the functionalities that I would imagine that can come in here also is also onboarding. Remember, it's an HR dashboard. I should be able to post a job, interview, offer management, and then also onboarding the candidates into the company, right? Onboarding, and that would be onboarding tasks will definitely be around documenting, document submission, background checks, orientation, scheduling. So I think that would be documents, background check, orientation. Cool. Quite an interesting. This is going to look definitely is going to be very interesting for us to build. But again, I always love to spend time thinking about this type of things. This is what product designers do. Even though most of this will be extracted from the product requirement document that the product manager already wrote. However, as a designer, having a deeper understanding of what you're building, of what you're designing before you even go into Figma is a very, very important skill, which I think is important for if you're a beginner designer to start practicing and experimenting with this. And if this is something that you're super interested in, then you want to join the More Code community, where I would actually, every week we'll get to work on different type of projects that would help you develop this type of skill. I'm sure by the time you do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you would start getting used to it. And then you don't just always jump into Figma directly, but you will see the transition between how, I've written all this and then how the design and the sketch and thinking about the wireframes and everything would start shaping up before we start making it visually appealing. And then lastly, we go into the coding part of it. Now, the other area I always love to work on and think about is the information architecture, but you will want to be very, very clear about what exactly is the goal of the information architecture. So you need to have this at the back of your mind, because as you're designing, you want to make sure that you are always sticking to your goal. You want to make sure that usability is a very, very important part of your entire design flow. Make navigation intuitive with clear descriptive labels. You want to make sure that your recommendations actually, reduce clicks needed to reach commonly used features, e.g. one click from dashboard to the active posting. Scalability, probably, let me just write this down, because if you're going to be watching this on a replay, you will be able to always pause and then see some of the things I'm saying. Usability, you want to make sure that it's scalable. You also want to make sure that you implement like a one click to core features. Like creating a job definitely has to be one click away. On landing in the dashboard, I should be able to just click on a button for me to start the creating a job process, because that is the primary feature of this dashboard. Okay, now let's say you want to make sure that the information architecture, the way you've designed it, the way you will be designing it, is actually able to accommodate future updates. And what that means is basically, if maybe your V0, your version 1 is actually supposed to only have like 3 levels of information nav menu, you want to make sure that by the time you're adding the 4th or the 5th one, you're not completely redesigning the entire project. Okay, you want to make that really, really clear. You want to structure content so new features can be added without disrupting existing flow. So yeah, exactly, that's what the accommodate future updates means. Now, consistency, and this is where the power of design system comes in. Consistency in your design. You want to be able to group related. What this means basically is to be able to group related features together, e.g. job posting, applications, and candidate management should all come together under recruitment. And then you will see that when we start designing the dashboard itself. You want to also be, you want to break things down into role-based access. You want to differentiate between differentiate dashboard views and navigation items based on user role. So this will be dashboard views, navigation access based on user roles. Now, I think I'll definitely be asking you, so what, from your own point of view, since you've been watching this, what would you say is one feature you think every HR dashboard, has to have? Just drop it in the chat. Let me know, what do you think is one feature that you think a dashboard like this should have? Now, having this goal at the back of your mind, it's now time for us to be able to just design a simple hierarchy illustrating top level sections, subsections, and content grouping. Okay, let's look at this, and this is definitely going to be leading us straight into understanding, like the entire flow of the dashboard. Top level navigation. Okay, so let's do this now. For the dashboard, so what exactly is the purpose of the dashboard? Now, you definitely need to be clear about what the purpose of the dashboard is. Now, the dashboard will provide a high-level overview of HR metrics and personalized widgets. Example would be open job posting, pending approval. So here would just be, the purpose of the dashboard will be to provide a high level of HR metrics, such as open job posting, pending approvals, etc. And key sections, of course, on the dashboard, some of the things that we'll be looking at will be some sections that we'll be thinking about will be time to hire, open positions, alerts, to do. So of course, we'll be looking out for time to hire as a feature, open positions, applicants, application status. Haven't done that. Still on the dashboard, we also then need to start thinking about the recruitment page. What will the recruitment page look like? On the recruitment page, you have job listing, right? Which is more like job posting. You should be able to create. So you should be able to create a job, edit, and then posting status, draft, published, closed. That will be draft. Let's say draft, edit, close jobs, and then job templates, because of course you don't want to start from scratch. Under recruitment, we should also be able to carry out applications. Applications should definitely be a standalone page of its own. Applications, this is where you'll be able to track the application status. And I think this is also going to be like a full board, because the application status board would have new applications in review, shortlisted. I'm going to call this application status board, where you would have new applications shortlisted for interview, in review, and then under applications, you should be able to filter bulk action, carry out bulk action, send bulk email. You should be able to filter, carry out bulk actions, e.g. send emails, move to next stage. Yeah, so I think I would just limit this to top level. Based on this, I should be able to have something really solid out from the entire information architecture. We'll take all the content that we have here and then start sketching out our design. So the next thing I'll be doing now is actually to do a very basic, simple sketch here, because this is what will be influencing the way we'll do the final design in Figma before we go into coding. So let's jump into that.